There just aren't enough TV shows that tell the origin story of tech companies. That is what everyone is saying down the pub, and that's why they made the playlist.
Vad är egentligen musik? Rent tekniskt så är det en rad ljud som är ihopsatta för att skapa en reaktion i det mänskliga sinnet. Men det är ju så mycket mer.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD, the channel for people who love TV, movies and streaming. My name is Tim, I'm an editor and a journalist who has been writing and talking about the media industry for more than 15 years. Today we are talking about The Playlist, which is the new show from Netflix about everyone's favourite streaming service, unless your favourite streaming service isn't Spotify, in which case this isn't about your favourite streaming service, because it is about the origin of Spotify.
Jag tror att det finns en stort hål i marknaden. Eftersom ingen vill associeras med Pirate Bay så är det ingen som kliver fram och skapar en riktigt bra musiksajt.
Du vill mäta dig med Silicon Valley?
Musik för alla.
Okay, so what's this one all about? Well, this is adapted from a 2021 book called Spotify Untold by some Swedish investigative journalists. I'd say it is told now because it's going to be told on Netflix to millions of people across the world. And it tells the story of the journey from an idea in Daniel Ek's head in Sweden to Spotify becoming one of the biggest tech companies in the world and a service that would revolutionize the way that people listen to music. It is a free streaming service at a time when everyone thought the only way that people could get free music was by pirating. This is an exceptionally well told story and a fascinating one. Now I know what you're thinking. Before we go any further, you're probably thinking to yourself, there are way too many stories at the moment about these kind of tech companies, startups, and the way that they played out. We've had We Crashed and the WeWork story. We've had the Theranos story through The Dropout with the fantastic performance of Amanda Seyfried at the heart of that. And we've had things like Super Pumped, which is the story of the foundations of Uber. And that's just a few of them. And you're thinking, well, why do I want to watch more of this? Well, the answer is because this is a really good story and it's really well done. And as is standard with these dramas, it comes with the caveat that this is a dramatisation, this is a drama. And of course we don't know, and as a viewer we'll be left guessing which of these things might have happened and which of these things didn't.
Främst så ska vi bygga världens bästa musikspelare. Vi behöver egentligen bara snacka om de här musikrättigheterna.
Men det får ni ta med skivbolagen.
Ingen vill betala för någonting som de kan få gratis. Och en ny gryning kan börja.
Om inte vi stänger ner dem snart, ja, då finns det ingen bransch kvar att rädda.
Du har tänkt att köra en demo här på gatan?
Det här är inte som någonting annat du har sett förut.
The story of Daniel Ek is at the heart of The Playlist. This is a Swedish entrepreneur and tech wonder kid who by the time he's in his late teens has made so much money he can almost retire already. Now he is bored and looking for a new project. At the same time in Sweden, the Pirate Bay, which is one of the biggest file sharing services, is at the top of the news. It's being raided because it is being used to illegally share music. Now, Daniel Ek's idea is that he wants to create a free streaming service, something that today seems like, well, you know, that's not such a crazy idea. But back then, that was 15 years ago, this was not something that anyone probably thought could happen, and certainly wasn't something that the music industry were very keen on at all. And so the story starts. This is the story of an idea that has to get through many hoops and many developments, and also it has to face off against the looming power of the music industry, who definitely aren't keen on giving away music.
En laglig streaming-service.
Ja.
Och det här är ju helt otroligt.
Vilken som helst.
Vilken som helst. Artisterna får betalt, i en win-win för alla här.
You want music? Pay.
Vi måste visa branschen att vi kommer med lösningen. Jag kan de här människorna.
No.
Just nu skulle jag vara nöjd om folk slutade spela in mina gig och lägga ut dem på Pirate Bay.
Du ber om någonting som är omöjligt.
This is a story that could quite easily be a fairly dull one. This is about rights management. This is about technology working, but this is told in such an interesting and accessible way and from many different points of view, which bring it alive and mean that there is jeopardy all the way through it. It could easily be a David and Goliath story that is so obviously on a trajectory which you understand, but there are ebbs and flows. This is a beautifully written piece of work, but also the way that it's put together, the way that music is used, the way that language is used, and the way that the different people and the players in the story interact with each other make it gripping all the way through.
Nobody will ever sign a deal that involves free music.
The game has changed.
Do you believe the size of your business model creates a problem for artists?
This is also a story that you might not know that much about. Yes, today Spotify is kind of one of those services that almost everyone seems to have on their phone and in their homes. But do you know that much about these people, the people that were behind it, and the challenges that they had to go through in order to get to where it has become today? I mean, it's hard to overestimate exactly what was achieved here, with all of the tech companies in the world focused on multimedia, knowing how important it was. It was a tech entrepreneur from Sweden who managed to get to the top of the pops, if you'll excuse the pun, and has managed to solidify the position of a company as almost like a byword for streaming. And yes, of course, there are other services from these enormous multinational companies, but somehow Spotify got there. And this is the story of how that happened. A fascinating story told in a fascinating way. And I think if you like drama, you like music, you like tech, then this is the perfect show for you. However, if you like any of those three things on their own, I think you're going to enjoy the playlist, because this is a gripping piece of television. The whole of the playlist is available to watch right now on Netflix, so I suggest that you add it to your playlist or your watch list or whatever you call it. Anyway, just go and watch it, it's good.